If content creation constantly feels like just one more thing on your plate, you're not alone. Whether you're writing blog posts, recording podcast episodes, or planning your next YouTube video, it's a lot. And without a solid plan, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, fall behind, or forget critical steps in the process. This is where workflow for content creation changes everything. A well-defined workflow isn't just about checking the boxes. Although I don't know about you, I really like to check boxes. It gives you a structured path to follow so you're not spinning your wheels every single time you sit down to work on your content. It helps you streamline that content creation, eliminating unnecessary decisions and ensuring that everything from idea to publish happens on time and with purpose. And here's the truth. Without a clear system, you waste time and energy deciding what comes next. You risk missing deadlines, rushing at the very last minute, or worse, creating inconsistent messaging that doesn't connect with your target audience. A smart, effective content workflow gives you your time back, supports long-term content marketing strategy, and helps you stay focused on what actually moves your business forward. If you're trying to grow your brand awareness and serve your audience through high quality content, a streamlined content workflow is no longer a nice to have. It's essential. But what is a workflow in content creation? Let's take a step back and talk about what a workflow really is. A workflow for content creation is simply a set of tasks and processes that you follow to complete a project, whether it's a blog post, a podcast episode, a YouTube video. It helps you to know exactly what the next step is so you're not wasting time wondering what to work on next. And if you're anything like me, having that clarity is the secret sauce for getting things done without the overwhelm. There are different types of content workflows, but most fall into one of two buckets. Either a task-based workflow, where you outline each step like topics, research, draft writing, editing, final approval, publishing, and promoting on social media. A status-based workflow where you track each piece of content is, so your idea stage, in progress, need to review, schedule, or publish. And both are helpful, and the best choice depends on how your brain works and whether you're working solo or with a team member. And just as a heads up, for me personally, I have a combination of both of those together. By having a clear content workflow in place, you eliminate guesswork and create a structured process you can actually follow. It helps you manage the details, track progress, and stay on top of your content production without needing to start from scratch every single time. So why would this even matter? And what are the benefits of a workflow? You see, workflows are more than just a nice to have. They're really an essential tool for any content creator trying to show up consistently and serve their audience well. If you're tired of scrambling at the last minute or realizing you skipped a step again, a workflow for content creation brings that structure to the chaos. One of the biggest benefits is increased efficiency. And when you break your content creation process into small tasks, it becomes so much easier to manage. You know what to do, when to do it, and you can batch your work where it actually makes sense. This means less context switching and more time actually creating that high quality content that you know and love. Another benefit, it helps you meet those deadlines without sacrificing quality. You can plan your next step instead of trying to do everything at once, which leads to mistakes or delays. And if you've got a team member, a workflow makes it crystal clear who is doing what and when. Even if you're a team of one right now, workflows will help you prepare for that growth. You'll be able to identify what parts of your process that you want to truly outsource. And when you bring someone on, they'll already have a system they can follow. It's a great way to make onboarding simple and communication smooth and easy. Workflows can support accuracy. You can build in editing checkpoints, make sure your content matches your style guide, and create consistency across all those different publishings. Whether you're writing blog posts, designing social media posts, or preparing your email newsletters. When you have that workflow, it helps you maintain your brand's voice and vision. But the bottom line is a well-defined content workflow helps you create great content without the constant stress. It saves time, it reduces errors, and it supports both solo creators and growing content teams. The core components that you're going to find in an effective content workflow, now that you know why a workflow for content creation matters, let's actually break down what goes into one. Every workflow starts with the same goal: to move your idea from ideation phase to publish content as efficiently as possible. So whether you're managing a solo business or, again, working with a small team, your content workflow should be simple, repeatable, and tailored to your business needs. And here are the key pieces for a solid content process. Well, these are the key pieces that I think are part of a solid creation process anyways. Your content planning. So this is where everything starts. What are you creating and why? What type of content is your best message? A blog post, a YouTube video, social media, podcast. What is that best content for you that you're able to consistently create? And of course, you're going to want to map this out with your overall content strategy. You want to find your keyword research and your content briefs. So this is the next step. So before you write, you want to make sure your content is aligned with your audience, is actually searching for. A solid brief helps you or your content manager stay on track with your voice, goals, and formatting. This is especially important for content creation. The next is creation. This is where the actual content comes to life. Maybe you're writing that blog, recording the podcast, designing the graphic, or outlining a video. Each type of content has its own process, but this stage is all about getting the draft out. Editing and reviewing is the next process step. You don't want to skip this part. So whether it's you, ChatGPT, or someone else reviewing your work, this is where you check for your brand alignment, spelling, tone of voice, and formatting. And if you have a style guide, you're going to be comparing it to that. If you're working with a graphic designer or editor, be clear about your final approval steps to avoid any bottlenecks. You want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Publishing and promotion. So once your content is ready, it needs to go out into the world. Whether you're publishing it to a blog, a content management system, or social media platforms, having this step built into your workflow helps to ensure consistency. And you want to schedule it. Automate where you can and make sure promotion happens across different platforms, but not too many platforms, just a few to keep it easy. When these pieces work together in a structured content workflow, you can create space to stay consistent, improve your conversion rates, and avoid burning out trying to do it all manually. And the different types of content workflows that you can use, because there's no one size fits all when it comes to building a workflow, because every one of us thinks about things differently. Keep in mind that the right workflow depends on what kind of content you're actually producing, how complex you really want your process to be, and whether you're working solo or with a content team. Wonder how many times I can say that in this. But let's look at some of the common types of content workflows that will work well for you as a coach, content creator, and content marketing team that you may have. You want your content calendar workflow. A content calendar is one of the best places to start. It helps you plan your content in advance and map it to your marketing efforts or product launches. This is your big picture view. So what's being created? When is it going live? And how is it connected to your target audience? You can use your content calendar to organize your blog posts, your email newsletters, social media content, or any other type of content that you create. And a well-defined workflow here helps to actually batch your ideas and work ahead. Number 2 is a task-based workflow. This type of workflow breaks down each piece of content into specific action steps. That's the research, draft, edit, design, review, schedule, like those types of things. And this type is ideal if you want a detailed to-do list that can be repeated for every piece of content. This is the thing, and this is the approach that I think is easier to assign clear roles if you're working with the team or if you're preparing to work with the team. But if, hey, you want to just be a solo person the whole entire time, there's probably not maybe a need for that. But it's completely up to you. Status-based workflow. So rather than focusing on tasks, this workflow will show you where each content piece is in the process. So again, think of this as like in process, need for review, waiting on graphics, scheduled, published, metrics. If you're using visual tools like Trello or Asana, this is a great way to manage multiple projects at once and quickly spot the bottlenecks because you'll have a lot of things in that specific column if you're looking at it with a Kanban board. The next one is approval-based workflow. If you work with clients, team members, or contractors, an approval-based system ensure nothing goes live without a second set of eyes. From your content briefs to your final approval, this workflow ensures a smooth review process and minimizes that back and forth communication. This is especially helpful if your content needs to pass through multiple hands before it's published. So the next one is platform-specific workflows. You might create also workflows that are just based on where that content is going to go live at. So like your YouTube video would have one. You would have one for your podcast. You'd have one for your blog. You'd have one for Instagram. Like where is that content going to go live? And then you would create that one system for just that one single process. Each of those platforms then have their unique steps and they're building a repeatable process for each one that helps you stay consistent without starting from scratch every single time. And remember, these workflows aren't rigid. They're here to support you. They should not feel overwhelming. If they feel overwhelming, then something is being done incorrectly. You want to make sure that you choose that format that actually fits how you like to work and where you are in your business. And once it's working, turn it into a content workflow template. You can reuse it again and again and again. Actually, just start right away with a template and edit it as you're going along. We're going to cover some popular tools for creating workflows. You're going to probably have heard me say all of this before, but once you understand the process and your content, your next step is picking that tool. Like, what is the tool that actually fits you? There's no shortage of options out there. And I think more and more come on the market every single day. But each one works a little bit different. And depending on how you like to work and how your content workflow process is structured, here's just the most popular ones for content software. And like I said, I'm sure these are ones that you've heard before or have used in the past potentially. Trello is a great visual tool that works like digital sticky notes. So if you're someone who loves a Kanban board style layout, this one might be the right content system for you, because Trello allows you to create boards with lists and cards that can represent tasks and stages in your status-based workflow. You can assign the different tasks, set your due dates, leave comments, and collaborate in real time. So this is perfect for a small team or a solo entrepreneur, or if it's just you need that simplicity in your actual project management system, this would be a great one to use for you as well. Asana's another one. I use this with my team, and it just gives you a little bit more structure. It does have some more features than I think Trello has in it, but I know there was just a big release with Trello as well. I haven't dug into it very much, but I do work with it with one of my other clients. But one of Asana's biggest strength is the ability to handle that task-based workflows. ClickUp is for those who want all the customization options, because it's so powerful and you can customize all the features, and it lets you create your own different views that how you want to see it. It reminds me a lot of the things that I see with Notion, except for it has a really good like that task-based management in there. However, I do want to mention that it is very flexible, and that flexibility comes with a learning curve, and it can cause some confusion in the system. So if you like to build systems that work your way and you need tools that can grow with a very large team, ClickUp might be a really good fit for your digital content workflow. MeisterTask. If you like the idea of a simple visual workflow, but want a few more features than Trello, MeisterTask is worth checking out, because it offers that structured content workflow with that Kanban style look to it. You can have tasks, checklists, priorities, and due dates in there. Well, all of them allow you to put due dates, of course. And you can track the status for each piece of content through the workflow stage and your specific tasks to your team members. And each one of these tools can support a successful workflow. The key is picking the one that supports your brain, your business, and the way your team communicates. If you're still trying to figure that out, start small. Many of these platforms have free plans or trials, so you can test them out before committing. And creating your first content workflow, a simple step-by-step guide starting from scratch, can feel overwhelming, but building your first workflow for content creation doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, this is where things start to feel easier, because instead of winging it every time, you have a repeatable process to follow. Here's a simple step-by-step guide to help you get started. Step 1, map out your content types. Are you creating blogs, social media, email newsletters, video content? Get clear on what kind of content you're going to create regularly and consistently. Step 2 is outline the steps for each content type. For example, a blog post workflow might include your keyword research, writing your draft, editing, and final approval. Yes, I know that's high level, but still, just stay with me. Creating your supported graphics, scheduling, and publishing. You want to sharing across your social media platforms. And of course, don't forget your email list. Let them know you have new content. This becomes your structured content workflow. Be detailed. Think about every step, no matter how small. That's how you build a workflow that you and eventually your team members can actually follow. Step 3, choose a tool to house your workflow. Pick a tool that fits your style, whether that's Trello, Asana, ClickUp, or another content management system. Add your workflow steps to your tool. Create a template and make it easy to duplicate for each new piece of content. This is really where your content workflow comes in handy. Step 4 is to assign the roles. So even if it's just you right now, clarify who is responsible for what. Writing, reviewing, publishing, like all of those things. Before I hired my content VA, I would actually mark in those tasks that person's or I think I just said content VA in there, like who to assign. So I knew that those would be the tasks in the future that I would take off my plate and give to them. Step 5 is to create a content calendar. So your content calendar is where you map out your due dates and your deadlines, and it keeps your content process on track and helps you avoid scrambles. Tools like Asana, ClickUp let you view your content calendar in different views. So whether you want to look at it on a calendar, a checklist, or a task list, or a more of that board format, you get to choose what way is best for you. Step 6 is to test and redefine, because run through your workflow with a few pieces of content and pay attention to where you're getting stuck or the things that feel clunky. This is where you actually can fine tune your content workflow process to match your actual working style. The first time you build a workflow, it's gonna feel like a lot, but once it's in place, everything becomes easier. And if it is easier for you to grab a pen and paper and start not writing out your notes on it, do that. You need to make sure that however you do it is easiest for you, because you want everything to fall into place for these things. And don't forget, you can actually record yourself doing all the tasks, narrate it and transcribe it, or use the Chrome plugin Tango, and that will help you set up. It will record every click that you do with your mouse, and it will just create your process for you. Okay, friends, it's time to wrap this up. Building a workflow for your content creation isn't just about getting organized. It's about making your business more sustainable, and it allows you to show up consistently, create high quality content without that stress, and spend less time spinning your wheels, focusing more on what matters most. So whether you're a solo content creator or part of a small but mighty team, a well-defined content workflow helps you streamline. It helps you streamline your process. It helps you improve your communication and build that system that supports your long-term vision. It's how you keep up with your content. The tools and template you choose are just part of the equation. The biggest piece is having a process that works for your content, your team members, and your goals, friend. And if that process still feels unclear to you, you don't have to figure it out alone. Let's simplify your system together. Book a 60-minute content system session, and we'll figure out the right project management tool for your content. We'll walk you through your current process, and I'll send you a starter template to make it super easy for you so you can hit the ground running. You don't need more content, friend. You just need a better system. Thank you so much for listening all the way to the end. I appreciate you, and I hope you make it a wonderful week. Yay! Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you found this episode valuable and learned some actionable tips that you can implement in your business so that you can feel accomplished and less stressed. If you enjoyed this show, please take a quick minute to share this with your business bestie, subscribe, and leave a review. It helps me reach more business owners just like you. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover in future episodes, please reach out to me on my website. I've created a form just for you. Remember, with the right system and mindset, you can achieve the success your heart desires. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to chatting with you next time. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And don't forget, let's grow, friends.